Alright, this is a 1950 Philco, and it is a model number 50-920. It's an AM broadcast radio. It's a bit of a basket case. For some reason, I'm kind of partial to basket cases. So I ended up picking this up. You can see it's missing the knobs. It's missing all of the tubes, and it's missing the lamp, and it's missing the back, which had the antenna on it. That's the only big downside. I can find screws. It's a 6-tube radio, an AA6, and see, it takes, looks like 2 octal and 4 loctal. I had 3 of them in stock, so I ordered the other 3, and I have them now. Like I said, it's missing all the screws, even the screws that hold the dial up and that hold the chassis in place. This is as I received it. I haven't done anything to this yet. And the power cord is, it's gone. Fortunately, it did come with the dial needle, but the dial cord is either disconnected or broken, which is always fun. But it looks like somebody struggled to get this thing apart, and that's probably why all these screws are out of it, because with this one I had to study this to figure it out. But to remove the chassis, you have to take this plate out of the radio first, because it goes over the needle like that, so you can't slide the chassis out. So while this is still in place, that's when you slide that brass plate piece in there, and then there's some screws that hold it up in place. Not these top ones, those didn't have to come out, but just the ones that hold this brass looking piece in place. So a little more complex than most simple radios. Underneath, it looks untouched. It still has the wax capacitors, and looks like one bumblebee, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wax capacitors, plus the main one. Oh, no, there's another one back there, so 8. Speaker looks okay. I guess that dial cord's not broken, it's just disconnected. So I'll have to figure that out. My source for power cords is just to go to Goodwill and find an extension cord with little to no use on it, so it still looks real new. And I just lop off the extension cord part of it, and I have a new power cord. Now, these old radios can be dangerous to work on. If you're not familiar with them, I recommend learning about them before you tackle it yourself. They do have high voltage present, They do have high voltage present, and often the chassis is hot too. I'm going to get rid of that right now. Now, it's already missing the original plug, but the original plug would not have been polarized like these later ones. See how one side is straight and the other side is flared out? That way it can only be plugged in one direction. So the skinny end is the hot, the flared out end is the common. And on the cord itself, one half is smooth and the other half has these ridges on it, and the ridge side is the common and the smooth side is the hot. And the reason that's kind of relevant is when you have a hot chassis radio, which a lot of the transformerless radios are, the chassis could be live depending on which way you plugged it in. So when you rewire these, or you wire in this new outlet, when you wire in this new plug and cord, you make sure that your hot side is not the side going to the chassis. Now, sometimes that can be a little more involved than it sounds, because you also want the hot side to be the side that goes to the power switch. But often these are wired to where the hot switch sends the leg to the chassis. So if you had your hot going to the switch, you turn it on and the chassis is hot. You do it the other way around and you put your hot line into the circuit and put the common here, so the common just turns onto the chassis. That's marginally better, but what happens is when you have the radio turned off, the circuit's still hot. So that's not the best situation either. So it can take a little bit of rewiring to where you have this coming, your hot lead going to the switch, and then the switch powering the circuit. Now, I was looking at the schematic for this radio. I'm not positive this one actually has a hot chassis. All that being said, I will test it just to be sure, but looking at the schematic, it is true that the outlet, the plug, is wired to where the switch is on circuit ground, and the other side is going to the filaments. But I don't see anything in here going to chassis ground except for this capacitor and resistor right there. And that's actually across the line, it looks like. So it's possible this one has just a circuit ground, and then the other side, the other leg, is just feeding the filaments, and then through the filaments it does the rectifier. So this might not actually be a live chassis, but of course I will confirm that. But if this was to be rewired, what you would do is you would take the hot leg through the switch, and then the switch would go down to feed the filaments, and then the common side would be the circuit ground or chassis ground. So it just takes a little rewiring of the power switch. So I'll study that, and then I'll get my new cord installed, and I will bring you back. Okay, I've confirmed this is not a hot chassis set, and I'll show you what I did. I have one of my tester leads on the chassis, and I got the power switch on, and I have no continuity between the chassis and either power lead. So this is one of the safer of the radios. And the power switch is working because I do have continuity through it. So I don't have to do any rewiring as far as the power switch goes. Just when I wire up my new power cord, I just make sure that the hot goes to the power switch, and that's good. Now, if you're interested in learning how to repair these radios, there's a lot of good channels on YouTube about doing this, and you can also go to the Antique Radio Forum. There's a lot of good information there too. This is not an instructional video. I'm just wanting to repair this radio, and I'm just sharing what I'm doing with you, so just be entertained by it. And okay, so now I am going to go get that new power cord in there. We'll be back. Okay, the new power cord is in place. Took a little more work than I expected. The old one had been replaced before, and they didn't do a very good job of it. They left remnants of the previous one in there, so I had to clean it up. Before we populate it with tubes, though, I'm going to power it up through a dim bulb just to make sure we don't have any shorts in it. Okay. Bulb didn't light. And that didn't light either. The lamp gets its power through the rectifier, so that's not going to do anything without the tubes. Okay, turn that off. Okay. Like the rectifier goes right there. 50 L6 GT goes next to it. And a 14B6 goes behind it. Okay. And then 7B7s in the back and 7A8 in the front. And it looks like I have to find my 7A8. I thought I had them all out here. Okay, just for a little bit of extra precaution, since we are starting this up on those ancient capacitors, we're going to run it through the variac. Okay. So far, we have nothing. Wait a minute. It'll help if I have it plugged in. Maybe. It might help if it's plugged in. Still nothing, and nothing from the light bulb. I'll turn it up a little more, but we might have an open circuit in there somewhere. Well, we got a little bit of light from the dial lamp. And we're at 100 volts now. And the dial lamp went out. Oh, there it is. Dirty connection in the variac. Okay. Yep, we got some sound too. Listen to that filter capacitor hum. Turn the voltage down some. Well, there's not much point going any further until minimally the filter caps are replaced. Obviously they all need to be replaced, but I thought I'd see if there was any life in it the way it is. And obviously not. I mean, it powers up, but that's it. I can hardly read this. Looks like we got 40, 40, and 30. Black. I can't make that out, but it's got the colors. But there's a 40, a 40, and a 30. Inside of here. Orange 40, the blue goes to 30, red goes to 30. Wait, that's not what the schematic said, did it? It said it had two 40s in it. Yeah, two 40s and a 30. Oh, there's the colors. So a red was 30, which is right. A blue is 40. which is wrong. And the orange is a 40, which is correct. So the schematic's wrong. I will go with these values since obviously this is factory Philco. And they're all 150 volts. The black here is the negative. So yeah, they're all gonna have to get replaced, all the wax ones and that bumblebee one. But I'll start with this just to get rid of the filter hum and see if the radio comes back any. So 230s and a 40. Alright, I'll get those installed and I'll bring you back when we're ready to try it again. Okay, I replaced the electrolytics. I also did replace a few of the wax capacitors while I was in there because otherwise they would have been under the new electrolytics and a lot harder to get to. So I changed 3 under there, and then I changed the electrolytics themselves. And when I dig out my liquid sealant, I'll go ahead and cover these points where I soldered them. But let's see if we have any action this time. Turning the variac on. And we're at 70 where we left off last time. Going to 90. Okay, filaments are warming up. It's totally quiet. Go up to 100. Yeah, there's a little static. Of course, we do not have an antenna. That doesn't help. Yeah. Sorry about that. I had to clear some space on the camera. So I was about to say my variac seems to have a dead spot on it, so it needs to be cleaned. But it's obviously not going to blow up, so we're just going to bypass the variac and just do the bulb. Okay. That's funny. It's even quieter now.
Yeah, they gotta get it colored. I know there's an article out by The Athletic of how they, or something out by The Athletic of how they keep it secret. I would love to know that little.
So, Eagles last year were yellow.
It's been repeating.
Well, obviously we have life, but I need to come up with something to do for an antenna to thoroughly test it out. So let me figure out what I'm going to do about that antenna, and in the meantime I may just go ahead and replace the other wax capacitors while it's down, and I'll rejoin you when we have it figured out. Alright, I got all the wax capacitors replaced, and that bumblebee cap too. And you saw previously I already did the electrolytics, so all the caps have been replaced. So I've been studying this antenna circuit on the schematic here. It's a 4-prong plug, and it looks like 2 of the prongs are for an external antenna, and these 2 inboard ones go to a coil antenna. Now I don't have the back to this radio like I mentioned, but what I do have is a back to a GE radio that has the coil antenna. So we are going to use this, and make the radio a hybrid. So we're going to connect let's see. Both of these are where those two inbound ones go to. We're going to connect those. Right here. And then I'll have to prop it up. And let's see how it works. I also fixed the string for the dial, the indicator. This actually wasn't one of the harder ones I've done. So that's good.
Limited menu of investment versus when you ultimately separate your employer for retirement, you'll probably want to roll it out to an IRA at that point. That's when you want to hire a fund.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Rob. Thank you for the clarity.
Absolutely. Thanks. 800-525-7000. Let's go to Cynthia in Missouri. Go ahead.
Hi.
So when you hear studies like this say, non-monogamous relationships can be just as satisfying. I want to approach it with discernment, but we can talk about it. Maybe you're experiencing it. As always, you're welcome to join me. The number's 888.
About meeting Ms. Dufresne in a club. And
She described dancing with you.
when the interview asked about Virginia Dufresne's claim that he had sweated profusely while he danced, he on an odd tangent to how he couldn't have sweated while dancing with her because he had a medical condition that made.
Proud of you, and no one better, man. No one better. Appreciate you, Matt. Great job. Did I forget anything? Do you want to leave us with any thoughts?
No, you didn't. You didn't forget anything. I appreciate you having me on. I appreciate you making my drive down from Indianapolis to St. Louis all the better. I need another NTC update though. I don't feel like he reaches out to you enough.
Check right now.
Appreciate you, Jim.
Let me see if he's texted today really quick.
Yeah, there we go. Let's see where we're at here.
Yeah, he did. Wait, hold on. Let me see. Yes, he did. He was all about one of the pods. So he did. We have to worry about that. Matt, great job, dude. Appreciate you. I know you are.
He kicks Prince out of his home that he'd lived in on the property of Windsor Castle for about.
Some people believe, and maybe to their own detriment, their own unhappiness, that they can find comparable levels of satisfaction.
Older, you want to have something for your kids in case something happens to you.
Yes, I get it. Well, and that's where you have the ability to take a longer time horizon, just because you're looking not only throughout the rest of your life, but if the Lord tarries and you're in good health, maybe a while, but also into your kids' lives as well, knowing that this money will ultimately end up in their hands. Thank you for calling, Cynthia. I hope that's...
Okay, it is working. I don't know if it's kind of quiet. It could be. I don't know how many AM stations we have left up here anymore. I haven't done a dial scan in a long time. I should probably try it with another radio just to see. It looks like we're getting, 5 or 6 stations here. A couple of them were kind of noisy. I don't know if it's related to the camera or the lighting. They weren't all noisy, but a couple had a pretty good hum. Also, it could be related to, as far as the sensitivity goes, the fact that we're using the wrong antenna. Plus, you got some pretty long leads on it, too. But overall, it is functioning. It sounds okay. There is a tear in the speaker right here. I'll have to get some speaker glue on it, and right there too. I don't know if this is somebody trying to tape that, or maybe they were just trying to keep this cardboard thing in place. But yeah, I'll have to glue that up. I don't think I'll wind up the video just yet, though, because I think what I want to do is get set up to do an alignment procedure on it. We'll see if that dials in that antenna a little bit better. So stand by for that. I'll get set up now. Okay, made some progress, but along with the progress came a setback. We'll get to that in a minute. But I made some leads for the antenna. I gutted a tube socket for a couple of these sockets to clip onto the pin here. And then on the other end, I gutted a tube base for a couple of pins. So now this will plug into the back of the radio. And it works well. But the radio has an issue to where when it warms up, the sound gets quiet and it's distorted. So I'm working on that right now. Hopefully when I get that figured out and fixed, we'll be able to align it and wrap this video up. But that's where I'm at. I did tape up, or I did glue the speaker in those little tears, but I discovered that this seam right here actually is detached right where it was seamed, so I'm going to have to glue that as well. But yeah, that's just a little update, and we'll come back when it's ready to go, hopefully. Okay, finally getting this straightened out and about done. With the aid of a helpful person on the Facebook Tube Radio forum, we were able to diagnose that my problem was the 50 L6 tube. It had 10 volts on the cathode. It was overdriving itself. Everything else in the radio checked out fine, and I dug out another 50 L6 and put it in there, and it's perfect now. No more warming up and fading and distortion. So just a bad tube. Now we are ready to align it. I have the signal generator set on 455. I have this cheap little scope across the coils of the speaker. And signal generator is hooked up to the RF section of the trimmer here through a 1 microfarad capacitor. And gang is fully meshed. I got the instructions here. And then we adjust the IF cans in this order for maximum output. So T5, 4, 3, and 2. Which are right here. So 5, 4, 3, and 2. So Wrong one. Went too far. That's the oscillator over here. Yeah, that one was way off. Okay, now they want a radiating loop, so we no longer hook up to straight to the radio. We put the signal generator to a roll of wire. And we position the roll of wire by the antenna coil. Now they're saying C5 is an oscillator trimmer down here, and they just want us to start with 1/2 turn from tight. So can't really see it, it's behind the speaker here, but we just tighten it till it stops and then back it up 1/2 turn. Okay, now they want the signal generator on 1620 kilocycles. So $16.20. Okay. And then they want the radio on 1620. Alright. And then adjust C1B for maximum. And C1B is the center of the gang. Okay. And they want us to do something similar with 1500. Okay, so we'll go back to 15. And they want us to adjust C1C and C1A. So the front one and then the rear one. Alright. Okay, I ran out of memory on my camera, but we're so close to finishing this, I just grabbed the phone. We're almost done with the alignment. All we have left now is we go to 580 and then we adjust the oscillator. So now we go to 580 on this. Right there. And then we go to 580 on the signal generator. And then we start with that little trimmer that we tightened down earlier, right here. Okay. And then lastly, the oscillator back here. Okay, and the radio is now aligned. Turn that off.
Wants it, even if it's consensual. God still designed the man to protect you, and when he violates that protection, it causes.
It's daytime right now. I'm not going to get many stations.
By the respondents in this case, or the judge just simply.
Hard because your mind, all of those questions, especially for a woman, it's just very difficult.
They seem to be under this pressure because of
speaking out essentially by
We beat them on the glass, so we take care of the ball and it gives us an opportunity to come away with another win.
That last station always
18-0
has an interference. I don't know what's up with that.
Iran's regime and your decision.
You know, it's
Just beat things, and then people will figure out that you is the thing.
Yeah, like you're basing all of your success.
You know what? That antenna's laying flat too. That's not helping.
Hey, we're big fans. Thanks so much for taking my call today.
Thank you.
Well, okay, I have a question about a specific long-term care option. And this is, so it's...
It has nothing to protect this athlete. You know, we have been running campaign to put pressure on them to do something.
It is something that's reasonable for a legislature to say, we're just going to treat that a little bit differently. It's a special case, we're going to treat it. The president declared that he would not accept anything less than unconditional surrender. The Iranian president responded by saying the U.S. demand for surrender is a dream that they should take to their grave, and he threatened more strikes on American targets in the Middle East. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Okay, it's working pretty nicely. I'm going to go ahead and put this back in the case, come back, and we'll wrap the video up.
Too often, you'll end up getting negative impacts based on someone else's behavior and decisions.
Okay. Yeah.
Circumstances of regime change in Cuba. They see between Venezuela, between the momentum that the U.S. has had.
Ron said, hey, man, just show me the door. Show me the door. But if you're a quarterback... I was like, what time do you want me to leave and what door you want me out of?
If you're looking for a more budget-friendly way to handle medical costs and stay true to your values, Christian Healthcare Ministries is a great option. Y'all see a jump.
You ever had to get you the hell out of here? It's got to leave a mark. It's got to sting. It's got to sting that they want you to go that badly. That says something to me. That says a lot. That they're willing to pay that guy that much money not to be around here. I'll give you an example. Remember Brian Kelly's $54 million buyout at LSU?
Well, there you have it. A 1950 Philco, and it is a model, if I can find it, it's a 5920, 50-920, 6-tube radio. It works nicely.
They just need somebody who's not Tua. They need a guy who isn't that guy. And not because that guy's a bad guy, but because it just no longer works. It's a bad fit. It was not going to get better. Question now is, even though you can get this guy at the NFL minimum.
Tube radios always have such a rich sound to them. Anyway, that's it for now. Oh, I did forget to mention in the last clip, but you might have seen I did glue the seam on that speaker, so that's done too. And that's it for now. Till next time. Thanks for watching.